I'd like to welcome everybody back to the Motley crew. Week 7 recap, bedside chats. Welcome, friends. We did not do a prediction show this week, but that's because I got busy on Thursday. And to be honest, if I don't do these now on Thursday, I will not probably get that in because I'm flying in, and my assumption is I'm going straight to announce a football game. So let's get into this. This week was Mixon to Kittle Chubb versus Pack Full of Love. Mixon won this 126 to 124. The prediction was for Mixon to win. I know that the numbers seem close, but what actually happened is, nothing. I knew I was going to win. That's why, if there was a prediction show, did I just say whatever? You guys know. I'm 5-2. That puts me in first place directly. I don't know if you can see the numbers if you look on your ESPN app, but that would put Mixon in first place. Familiar territory, to be honest, and I don't know if Pack Full of Love remembers when you were in first place, or at least tied with it. You're now in fourth. Probably more familiar territory with you. So at least for our mental health, we're both back in familiar territory. That was me cheersing to you. This is not sponsored by this. But I tell you, sometimes you win and sometimes you lose, and I'm back. You do not appear to be back. You appear to be back where you normally are, so things have returned to normal. I'd like to congratulate Mixon on the victory. Congratulations. Thank you. Next, we have Jaden Savis versus Son of a Besh. Son of a Besh, you are in second place at 5-2. Obviously, I've outscored you. That's why I'm number one. You are back in familiar territory. You're number two. Actually, this may be the first year you've been ranked that high. I don't remember. It's not a big deal, but you did beat Jaden Savis, and Jaden Savis was hot. He was on a 2-game win streak. I just knew he was going to keep it going. Did he have some failures there? Uh, yeah, but he also had a couple running backs playing way above their level in the past, 2 or 3 weeks. And so they returned to normal, and Drake London returned to normal, and Jameson Williams, I can only assume he was hurt because he had 0 points. Uh, you know, hey, that's why the cookie crumbles. Sometimes just the cookie crumbles that way, Pat. Sometimes when you take the cookie just crumbles. And you crumbled this week, and that's not a big deal. Will you get it back? I believe in the future that you may get it back. Oklahoma City Thunder has just won in 2 overtimes by 1 point. I'd like to announce that. Next, we have Master Bates versus Chase. And Chase, you lost 103 to 100. I've called Master pretty good. I think you lost last week. Somehow you're in eighth place, but you have a winning record. It wasn't starting off that way, but I think you're a real powerhouse in the league. You know what I mean? You just are. This was, as the current rankings have shaken out, this was an 8 versus 10 battle. I know you guys are real bottom of the barrel, but things are looking up. I feel like you guys have a lot of fantasy knowledge or a lot of time to grow into it. You guys are younger. I think that as time passes, maybe one day you will have the wisdom that maybe a first place fantasy placer has, and not everybody has it. To be honest, I excel in every league. But that aside, next we have Kicking Bass versus Skynet. Skynet 126 to 115. A very high scoring matchup there. Uh, yeah, I can't see all of it because of a thing that's in the way, but at this point, you have the highest point total by zero point 0.4 points this week. But you won 126, Skynet. I want to congratulate you. I know in your private life you're a professional drummer. I know, so this week, maybe using some drumming references, you really hit the hi hat on this one this week at 126. You won by 9. Kicking Bass. It's I mean, you beat your child. So, I mean, I guess there's that. You should feel a little. I don't know. Should you feel? Should you feel excited? I can't believe you beat your kid. Well, whatever. You won by 11. Harrison, hey, listen. You're 4-3. You got a winning record. You're ranked seventh. I know it's bottom of the list. There's only 12 teams. I know you're in the bottom half, but you got a lot of potential. Just like I told the last two, you got a lot of time. Lot of time looking up for you. Maybe you should read Fantasy Weekly magazine by myself and subscribe. Bundle Rooski 116.97 versus Young Ho. Young Ho, you are Bundle Rooski. You're sixth. You were in the top half at 4-3. Young Ho, you were in the bottom half of the league. Typically, the way it happens, like in sports, people play games of competition, and by how you perform, there's win-loss records, and so what you have is percentages. And so, depending on what those percentages are, your win-loss record, if you fall in a certain percentage, you've played 7 games and you've won 0, so your winning percentage is 0. That's okay. I was in one league in my life where somebody was 0-6 and won the league. Unfortunately, I don't believe this is going to be your year to do that, but you lost, but no real shocker. Only by 19, though. I think next week. Honestly, next week's probably your week, but we'll look at it later. Then we have Little Johnson Hunter versus Django Achand. A real brother battle, and the one with the higher record definitely won out this week. Django Achand, at 5-2, I think big things are coming in this projection show. No matter how sucky your players seem to be on paper, because you went nuts this week. Devonta Smith very well could have had his highest fantasy total ever. Is he going to redo that? Probably not. Olave, I know he's had big weeks. I don't know if he scored that amount of points, so good for you. The rest of your guys really weren't good, but those guys put you over the edge, and you still scored 129 points, which is quite a larger amount. So good for you this week. Oh, you were the high scorer. Oh man, I couldn't see it because of this thing that's holding my camera, and I think the camera's even sideways now. But listen, guys, I appreciate you listening in here. I hope things are good. Thank you for joining me with the bedside chat, and we'll be back with the prediction shows. Actually, I'll do those tomorrow because there's no way it's going to happen on Thursday. My apologies for no video this week, and that's what it is. You guys. Have the best good night.